What's up, guys? My name is Dom and this is Faith Family Homestead, and today I am in my garden again. It is a beautiful day outside. It is very warm, and this is the time that I have available to be out here. And so even though it is probably the hardest part of the day, I am ready to get in the garden. I did show you guys in a previous video that I had started some zucchinis and cucumbers, and I had them sitting outside, and I did see today that a lot of them have started to sprout, so that makes me super excited. I have been leaving my tomatoes and my peppers and everything out here to get, acclimated to the weather and stuff. It's been super windy here in South Carolina, but I have not, let me turn you around. I have this tray of tomatoes as well as that one. I already started transplanting some of the tomatoes out of that one. You can see it's not looking the greatest, but I did not transplant my tomatoes out of this container. I think I have another one somewhere. And so I'm thinking that today I would just go ahead and get some taken out and start planting some tomatoes. I completely ran out of time. I do have like 2 trays of maybe 64 tomato plants that I was able to up pot, but like I said, this is still a lot of tomatoes that I was not able to up pot, and it's fine. It's past my last frost date. My last frost date here in zone 8B was or actually is April 2nd, which is tomorrow. I have been looking at the 15-day forecast, and there is not a frost in the next 15 days, which it goes up to, I think, what is that, April 16th? Last year we did have a freak frost 2 weeks after our last frost date, so we froze on April 2nd and then we froze 2 weeks later. But since my the weather goes up to 15 days and our last frost is tomorrow, I'm assuming that we're past our last frost. But even if not, then I'll just, cover them or something. All of the lows are in the upper 40s or low 40s, which that's fine for tomatoes. I do have some plant tags. I have a permanent marker. I did use, what is it called, painter's tape to write the names of all the varieties of tomatoes as I was planting them. But with rain and stuff like that, some of the names did get washed away. But I also took a picture because I was anticipating for that to happen, and so I'm going to have to look at my phone and look back at the pictures to know which plants, if the name had got washed away, which plants are which, so that I can tag them, because I did I think start over 100 tomato varieties, so there's no way that I'm going to remember each of these names. So as you can see here, it's mostly the green permanent marker that washed away. I can still see the brown, which is like the Invincible. I can still see the Florida 91 Rio Grande. So I can still see all of the ones that I wrote in brown. It's really just for the green ones that I'm going to, like, I think that says black cherry, but I'll have to look at my, and maybe that says black crim, but yeah. Okay, I am up here on the cattle panel where I want to plant my tomatoes, but look at this asparagus bed. It's completely insane. So they've already started to, let me see. There you go. They've already started to fern out. This is what they look like when they get bigger, like little asparagus trees. But that's absolutely insane. This is the bed where I ran out of purple, so I planted some green back here, but like that has so many shoots coming out from one, like 1, 2, there's like 6 shoots coming out from one crown. Next year, this is going to be amazing. Anyway, okay, this is the bed where I'm going to first plant, and I think I can fit about 11 tomato plants here. So I already went ahead and wrote out the tags. So I'm going to do the Florida 91, the Isis Candy, the Blueberries, that's from Brad, Matt's Wild Cherry, Invincible, and then Black Prince. I'm thinking I'm going to do 2, since this is 6, I'm going to do 2 of every one except for the, I'm either thinking the Matt's Wild Cherry or the Black Prince. Everything else I'm going to do 2. Because the Florida 91 was bred for high humidity places, which I am in Florida, and in South Carolina, it's very hot and humid. So I do want to do that one. Same thing for the Invincible. It's a determinate variety. Actually, now that I'm talking, I was really just thinking maybe I should plant all of my determinate varieties up here. Because I have some other determinate varieties back there that at like the Ace 55 and Celebration, I think. Some other ones that maybe I can plant up here, and this can all be a determinate bed. So that way I won't get confused with like pruning and stuff like that. I have to think about that for a second. You can tell I was totally I was totally prepared to do this today. Okay, I have decided. Since I already have this tray up here and it has some determinants in it as well, I'm just going to go ahead, and I already wrote the tags, plant them right here in this trellis behind me. So this will have the determinants, and then when I get the other tray, I'll finish planting that out. But I am still going to be planting the, so this will only have the 4 varieties that I mentioned, which was the Matt's Wild Cherry, the Blueberries, Black Prince, and Isis Candy. So that will be here, and then I'll find other varieties to fill up this, so this whole row will be indeterminate varieties. Okay, so I wanted to bring you in closer and show you what I'm doing. This one is I think Matt's Wild Cherry. Yeah, this one's a Matt's Wild Cherry. I've already done 2 Black Prince and then 1 Blueberries right here. I was going to do another Blueberries, but I realized it was super small and I accidentally ripped the root out. I only had 1 more root, so I want to let that grow a little bit, and then I'll put that one right there. But this, I have the Black Prince. I planted it as deep as I could, and I have another one right here, and then this is the Blueberries. I'm planting them spacing them every, skipping one, and then plant another one right underneath. And so that's how I'm down here. And then I have this container that just has azomite, blood meal, and bone meal. And I'm digging a hole and then taking a handful, sprinkling it in, and then basically just mixing it all in. This is a no-dig bed, so this bed does have cardboard underneath that I can feel that I'm pressing on, and actually probably even broke. Yeah, I can hear the cardboard down there. And so yeah, I'm just mixing that in, and then let me dig that out. I'm trying to get as deep as possible. And then take this plant, that is the roots, and sticking it straight down in there, and then basically just fill it back up. And that is all I am doing. I will go ahead right now and remove that leaf so it's not touching the ground, but that is it. And I'm just going to keep doing that all the way down. I already know where I'm planting them. I'm going to take my tag, put it in front, and all done. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I did it. I have the first tomatoes in the ground of 2022 growing season. I have 11 determinants right here on this trellis, and then on the trellis behind me I planted my indeterminate tomatoes. So on this row, this is right in front of the two asparagus beds, I have the determinate and I have a Grand Marshal, which is supposed to be really good in producing in southern really hot humid heat. I have two Ace 55s, another determinate. I have two plants here that I actually could not figure out the name of them, but I'm assuming they were determinate because they were planted right behind my other determinates, and I had all those packs together. So we'll see what those are. I'll have two celebrations, and then I have two Florida 91s and two Invincible. And I realized I had spelled Invincible after I already put it on there, but that's fine. So I still have all of these tomatoes. Those are all, well, the first 2 or 3 rows are determinate, but then everything else is indeterminate. And then this whole tray right here are like dwarf varieties, and I did get the Grand Marshals from here as well. I have this tray right here of dwarf French marigolds, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and put them in front of the tomatoes. And I did end up replacing that blueberries. Instead of waiting on it, I put an egg tomato variety there. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put French marigolds in front of all of these tomatoes. Okay, so I did go ahead and put the marigolds. These are dwarf marigolds, and I tried to space them in between the tomato plants for the most part. And then I stopped right here since this broccoli is still here. I didn't put one right there. And then I did the same thing for the other bed. I planted some marigolds in the front. And while I was planting, when I saw weeds, I was just pulling them out. So this is what I have left. Some of them have 2 in a hole, which I just went ahead and planted. That's fine. But this is how much marigolds I have. I think I'm going to put them in the front of, when I plant tomatoes there, I'll put the rest of these marigolds there. Look at this calendula flower. It is absolutely lovely. It's so pretty. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I also had some pretty ranunculus blooms. They're so pretty. I actually need to fertilize my ranunculus. They, with like a fish fertilizer, they're looking a little yellow. I know that I said this is the hottest part of the day, and you know, you really shouldn't be planting or transplanting stuff out during the hottest part of the day, but this is when I have time. I have to leave in a little bit. My son has baseball after schools, and at school days is what I meant. And so this is a school day, it's Friday, and I just tried to get out here whenever I'm available to get out here, and it just happened to be during lunchtime. To the cucumbers and the squash that I was telling you about, and you can see that I do have lots of cucumbers poking up. This 2 tray, the tags flew out. I have them stuck underneath there. There's a bushy cucumber and a miniature white, and I don't know which one's which, but for the most part the cucumbers are what's up, and the zucchini hasn't come up yet. I have this tray of Lysianthus that didn't really do well. There's only 3 in here, 2 pink and 1 white. And so I'm going to plant that in this bed. I'll show you. I'm going to go ahead and plant that in this bed. This is where I planted a bunch of poppies, and I only have about like 5 sprout. And then I also transplanted some bells of Ireland in here that didn't really do good. And something else that I don't remember. But it was 4 of those and 2 of those. I think those were the bells of Ireland, and I don't remember what these were, but I only had 4 sprout. So this is going to be like my catch-all, flower bed that on flowers that didn't really do well, and I'm going to put them all in here. I forgot I had this other tray of ranunculus as well that didn't do good. As you can see, I just have 1 black, some more white and champagne, and then this one too red. But I planted so many. This was my first year trying to grow flowers, and so I'll have to learn from my mistakes and replant them next year. But I'm going to get the ones that I do have in the ground in this bed. Okay, so that is exactly what I did in this bed. I planted the Lisianthus that I had. I planted some asters that I had, and I even had some pincushion flowers that I had, so I just drew them all on here. So I didn't space them or measure them. I just went ahead and dropped them all in the bed. And now I have these straw flowers that this whole section right here is straw flowers, and then I had some seeds that didn't germinate here, so I'm gonna find the spot for the straw flowers. I'm thinking this bed up here with the calendula and the beets might be a good place for the straw flowers. I didn't replant beets when when the cold came and froze all of them and killed some, so I'm thinking I can plant straw flowers in the in-betweens, and maybe even right there in that row, since I thought the calendula would be spread out more. So I could probably plant some there and then all around here. Let's see how far I get with this. Okay, awesome. That is exactly what I did. That's what I had. Pincushions. I thought I had more. They was just so wild and hairy it looked like more. But planted them there, and I can actually put more things in this bed. I could probably still plant something right there. So let's see. I didn't tell you guys, yesterday we picked up our first meat chickens. We ordered 26 meat chickens, and we ordered 25 more to come in August. These take about 8 weeks, so it is April. So these will be ready in about June, and it will be our first time processing meat chickens, so we're really excited about that. They are in the brooder next to our egg layer chickens that we had got 2 weeks ago. Okay, so it is later in the day. I had to take a little lunch break and eat some food, but I wanted to show you the meat chickens. So all of our meat chickens are right here. And then our egg layers are hiding in the corner from us. But they're so cute. Those Polish ones. Like that's a Polish one right there. It's gonna have a little puff on its head. It's so cute. Okay, before I went inside though, I did go ahead and label my hot peppers. So the ones that sprouted. So I have a habanero red, and then I think 5 of them, and 1 habanero white. I have a serrano chili, cayenne long, red hot, Santa Fe grande. I have no idea how you say this. Pasilla, Bajo, I don't know. And then Italian pepperoncini. Let's see, Hungarian yellow and yellow piquillo, which means small in Spanish, I believe. So those are my spicy peppers. I planted them in this tray next to this salvia, which I need to plant out. It's a thick mat. I don't know where I'm gonna plant that yet. But I counted. The loud machine equipment you hear is my husband and my son. They're fixing the lawnmower. But like I was saying, I counted these peppers, and I think I had about 32 or 33 hot peppers, and I want to plant them in a bed by themselves, far away from where I'm going to have my sweet peppers at. This and that tray is my 2 trays of sweet peppers. And I'm going to be planting those in the beds where I planted my tomatoes at earlier, and the marigolds. That's where I'll be planting my sweet peppers. So my hot peppers are going to be nowhere near them. I don't have to worry about my hot peppers making my sweet peppers spicy this year, but I do want to save seeds, and I would have to worry about my sweet peppers, if they're getting cross-pollinated, that my sweet peppers might become spicy next year because of cross-pollination. So I definitely want to keep them far away from each other. My family doesn't even eat spicy food like that. So I didn't plant a bunch of spicy peppers, but I did want some. I have this bed right here. It's right behind the one that I planted in all those random flowers. It has summer savory here in the corner that I planted, and it was only like this big when I put it here. Now it's taking over. Wow, yeah. So this is gonna spread. It's like a thick mat, and it smells amazing. It's also in this container as well. Oh look, my pea shoots that I planted in here and here are sprouting, so that's exciting. But I did not know when I put this here that this must be in the mint family, because it's definitely spreading and it smells minty. So, it smells so lovely. But I'm thinking, since I already have summer savory there, that maybe I can go ahead and put my spicy peppers in that same bed. So this bed is 3x6. All of these beds are 3x6, and if I follow the square foot gardening method, I could fit 18 peppers in here. But I like to plant my peppers a little closer because I found that they do like to hold hands, so to speak. So I'm actually going to put all 30 pepper plants in here. I do have my container that has the Azomite blood meal and bone meal, and I'm going to sprinkle it all over here, mix it in. That little green is a weed, and level this out and plant all of my spicy peppers in this bed. That's going to be super exciting. Okay, so I went ahead and added in the amendments, mixed it in, and then I had my son bring me some more compost because this bed was a little low and we still had more compost over there. And now I'm going to go ahead and start planting these pepper plants. This one I already can see is really tall. I'm thinking about topping the really tall ones like this one and maybe that one, or pinching, I mean. But we'll see, I guess, when I get them in the ground and spaced out. Okay, so this is what I have. I didn't space them out before I started working, and so I have this hole right here, but I started with the habanero reds, and then there was one white, and then I have this space, and then I have some cayenne longs in the back. I have some serrano chilies right here. I have one red hot, two of the yellow pequeños. What's these three back here? Hungarian yellow, three of those. Santa Fe Grande, I had the most of. 3, 6, 7 of them. Then I had this, what is this, Italian pepperoncini, and then this pasilla, I don't know, whatever that's called, right there, 5 of those. So, they're, like, those are planted a little closer than I was thinking, but that's fine. I will just plant something right here that I'm not sure about yet. I have to think about that. I do have removed all of my spicy peppers, and the only thing left is the salvia that I still need to find a place for. I have this tray of basils right here. So I have some dwarf spicy, some kind of green, some licorice, lime, Italian, large leaf, Thai, cinnamon, Siam queen, sweet basil, dark opal, lemon, citrus, red velvet, leaf lettuce, sweet Italian. And so I'm thinking I can put some basil in that bed. Just rubbing my fingers through this basil, it's like giving all the basil smells. Oh my goodness, it smells delicious. So I think, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, plant some basil. Earlier today, I actually ordered a bunch of fruit trees that will be shipping next week from Stark Brothers. I ordered some apples, more apples. I think like maybe 11 more apples. I already have 5 apple trees, but I ordered 11 more. I ordered maybe like 5 pear trees because I only have one, and I ordered 2 cherry trees. I think that's all the trees I ordered. I already have 4 peaches and 3 plums. Those are fruit that we do not eat a lot of, but my kids love apples. They love applesauce, so that is the one that I got the most of. And then second would be pears. And so yeah, I really like cherries, and so I'm hoping that they'll grow here well. But that's just a little side note. I will be showing you that when we get them. For this one, I'm just going to take out this little Greek one right here. Maybe I'll just take out one of each. So I have one here that's a spicy dwarf. This one says licorice. Maybe I'll take out a licorice, and this one's lime. Take out a lime. I actually don't have any large leaf. Yep, that whole row is actually empty, so no Italian large leaf. But I have this Thai, and I have a cinnamon that I can take out. Let's see, what's the next one? This queen, I have that. I have a sweet basil. This says dark opal, but that's not a dark opal. It's back there. Right there. That's really pretty. And then lemon is right here. Lemon. And I have a citrus. And let's see. Oh, that one's stuck in there. Okay, so I won't get that. Then what's the next one? This Italian, sweet Italian. So yeah, so I'll just take all of these basils and I'll plant them. Okay, so that is how that's looking. There are 12 basil plants. So we have 3 there, 3, 3, 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12. And then we have all of our peppers. Ideally, I would have planted a row of peppers, then basil, pepper, basil, pepper, basil, but I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, as they say. And so this is a basil and pepper bed, and then my summer savory that's back there. Since we are out here, we still have some hours of daylight. We might as well keep going. My son filled those Dollar Tree containers. I had more of them, and he filled them with soil for me. So I'm thinking I do have some dwarf tomatoes up here, as well as that dwarf basil, and I think I also have dwarf pepper plants as well. So I'm thinking I'll just go ahead and plant out some tomatoes, peppers, and basil in that container as well. Maybe even a marigold. So this is the same tray that I got the Grand Marshalls from earlier, but I have some yellow canary from Haas Tools that I know is a dwarf. I have Tiny Tim, Red Robin, Geranium Kiss, Rosy Finch. Not sure what that says. Yeah, so I can plant some of these dwarf tomatoes inside of these containers. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, this is done. I planted 10 of the dwarf tomatoes in this container. I still have some I still have, what's this called? This one, I still have a red robin. I still have, I'm not sure what that is, I can't read it. And so I think I still have about, let's see, 2, 4, I still have like 5 dwarf tomatoes. But I'll plant that in a different container. This one though is all finished, and I'll be putting that at the end of another bed right there. And I still have enough to sit one next to it, so it will be all even. We had a long, productive day inside the garden. I was out here much longer than I was expected to be, and we got lots of stuff done. It's so nice with the weather and the switching over to spring time, because now it's getting later or darker, much later. So was able to get lots of time in the garden today. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming along with me and subscribing to my channel and watching me. I do have lots of new subscribers here. I don't know what's going on, but I appreciate it. All of you guys who are subscribing and staying and watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.